Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys all about foundation. Everything from how to apply foundation to how to pick your shade, how to identify your skin tone. I'm going to be helping you decide which type of foundation will be best for your skin tone, how to make it look flawless. Sharing with you guys all of my tips and tricks on foundation. And I knew that I wanted to film this video. If you're wondering why I'm looking at my phone, it's because the past couple of days I've just been writing down anything that came to mind that I wanted to share with you guys that I thought would be helpful for this video. So I took a ton of notes because I wanted to make sure that I didn't leave anything out. I know that this video can be kind of overwhelming for beginners or just for anybody. It's a long video, but I really tried to put in everything that I thought was important to know about foundation and about application and shade matching and just everything in between. Of course, there are no rules in makeup and there's no right or wrong way to do anything. This is just what I found works for me and tips that I thought would be helpful to share with you guys. And yeah, if you guys want to see my tips and tricks, then please keep on watching. So today I'm also going to be sharing with you some products that I love, and I'm going to show you some from the drugstore and some from Sephora and other high-end places. So I have a balance, but they're all just products that I truly love, truly think work really well for my skin, and some recommendations for different types of people with their different types of skin as well. I wanted to say that some people choose to put their foundation on first, and some people choose to put it on after they finish with their eyes. My advice to you, at least what I do, is if I'm going for something dramatic and I want to put tape here so I have that angled line. If you guys want me to do a tutorial with tape, I'd be more than happy to do that. But if you put tape on top of your foundation, then of course when you take off the tape, it's going to take off the foundation and just ruin everything. Some people like doing that. Instead of putting tape on, they'll just put concealer on, or before they start the shadow after the foundation, they'll put on a bunch of loose setting powder like this one here. I love Mercier. There's also a dupe for that. It's the no color powder from RCMA, and I'll link that down below. I've never tried that, but I will still link that for you guys. Or if I want neutrals and I want that line, then I'll do it without too. And you don't have to do tape if you want that sharp line. Tape, setting powder, concealer, you could simply just take a makeup wipe, Q-tip with makeup remover, and create that line. There's a ton of ways to create that line before or after foundation, so it's really up to you. When I'm doing makeup on brides, I always start with their eyes, so I always lay down that tape and I prime their eyes and do all of that jazz first before I go in with the foundation, because also when I'm doing their makeup, sometimes I tend to lean on different parts of their face to get the lines that I want to get. And if I lean on their face, then it will ruin their foundation and things like that if I'm doing my own face. So I'll do that too, just to get that perfect line, but I also steady my elbow on something so it's not always touching my face. But when I do clients' makeup, normally I am touching their face, so I will start with their eyes so I don't ruin the other products that I already laid down before. So I just threw my hair up so it's out of my face, so that's something really important. Or wear a headband or something so that way your hair isn't in your face and getting in the way of applying your foundation. So once you've decided if you're doing your eyes or your face first, once you're on the face step, it's really important to make sure that you have good skin prep. So that means washing your face and moisturizing your face about 15 to 45 minutes before you apply your makeup. This way your skin has gotten a chance to really absorb all of the moisture, and when you put on your primer and go into foundation, they won't be slipping and sliding around with the moisture instead of just sitting nicely on your skin. That's something that's really important to keep in mind when you're applying makeup in general. Also, another thing that I wanted to let you guys know about foundation in particular, and powders for that matter, is that if you're going to be going to a special event, whether it be a wedding or a photo shoot or just anything that's going to have flash photography, you want to make sure that your foundation has an SPF of 10 or lower, preferably no SPF, because if there's a higher SPF, then it'll have flashback, which means that your face will appear white in the pictures, and that's not good. But on a day-to-day basis, when you're not going to be taking flash photography, then it's totally great to have SPF in your foundation so you can get that sun protection. If you're in love with a foundation that doesn't have SPF and you want it, just put on sunscreen before you put on your foundation and it'll give you that protection. The second thing that's really important to know is your skin type. So what kind of skin do you have? The most common skin types are oily, combination, dry, sensitive. Of course there are more skin types, but those are just some of the main ones. So if you feel like your face is more like flaky and dry and patchy. Maybe when you apply foundation, the foundation sometimes could cling on to different dry patches, then you probably have more dry skin. If you find that you get really shiny throughout the day, you're probably more oily. It could also be a combination and have, let's say, your T-zone be more oily and the rest of your cheeks be more dry, and there's different combinations like that. There are different foundations specifically designed to targeting different skin types. So it's really important to identify what skin type you have before you go and select which foundation you think is going to work best for your skin type. There's spray-on foundation, there's cushion foundation, liquid foundation, powder foundation, mineral foundation. There's a ton of different foundations, and those are only some of them, but those are the most common types of foundation. I brought some to show you guys right now. There's one that's great from the drugstore. It's L'Oreal. They actually have a lot of great foundations. They have some more targeted towards oily skin and one more targeted towards dry skin, and they also have their cushion. It's got amazing reviews. I haven't tried it yet, but I'll link it down below for you guys along with all the other products I'm talking about today. L'Oreal Lumi foundation is for people with more dry skin, and the L'Oreal True Match foundation is if you have more oily skin. It's MAC Face and Body. This foundation is a liquid foundation. It's one of my favorites. It's water-based, so it's going to be a little bit lighter in coverage, but it is buildable. So if you apply a first layer and you're thinking that you want more coverage, you can just go in and apply a second layer. Just be careful about applying too many layers. You can definitely get cakey really quickly, and it can look like you're wearing 10 pounds of makeup when you, of course, just want it to look like flawless skin. There's this one from Bare Minerals, and it's their mineral foundation, which is great. It's their loose powder foundation. There's this one from MAC, and it's a pressed foundation. There's everything at the drugstore and high-end. It just depends which exact product is going to work for your skin. So these products that I'm showing you today are going to work for my skin, and actually my skin's kind of confusing because I have sensitive skin, but I used to be dry, and then I used to be oily, and now I'm more normal. So these products have just really worked for me throughout. Something that's important to know is that you can get different coverages from all types of foundations. So if you have a liquid foundation, it's not like all liquids are light coverage. There's plenty of full-on, like super full, like mask coverage foundations. So it just depends which type works best for your skin tone, and then you can deal with the coverages. If you're not looking for something as heavy as a foundation, you could go with something like a BB cream or a CC cream. You could also go with a tinted moisturizer. Laura Mercier has an amazing tinted moisturizer. There's also different types of finishes on your foundation. So your finish could be more matte, more dewy, more luminous, more natural. If it's more of a luminous look, it looks like you're glowing from within, or you can have more of a matte look. If you have more oily skin, a lot of people don't like to go towards luminous because it just adds that extra shine that oily people don't normally like. So if you're oily, I'd recommend to do more of a natural or matte finish. If you're more dry, for example, I wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards matte because that can make you look even drier. So I'm really sorry, you guys. My camera just decided to stop recording audio in this clip. If you're more dry, I'd recommend more of a dewy finish, more of that fresh look, or more of a luminous finish, more of that glowing from within look, or more of a natural finish. I say away from mattes because that will make you look even drier. So now I'm going to show you a bunch of brushes that I love to apply foundation with. So those are actually just all of my all-time favorite brushes. If you want a video on that, I can totally do that. But I'm just going to show you 3 different of my most favorite foundation brushes. I also want to mention that I absolutely love applying foundation with a Ambient Beauty sponge, whether that be the Beauty Blender or the Real Technique sponge. I love them both so much. 95% of the time I'm doing my under eye concealer, I always use a Beauty Blender or some sort of makeup sponge, like the Real Techniques one, which is amazing, and I think it's like $5 from your local drugstore. It's so amazing. It's great because first of all it gives you extra hydration, and also since it's so hydrating because you squeeze it and it soaks up all that water, it will soak up your excess product. So if you tend to be heavy-handed with foundation and or concealer, it's a great tool for you. You'll also never have any streaks with this, so if you go in with a foundation brush and you see streaks, you can totally just go right over with a Beauty Blender and it will get rid of all the streaks. Or you could just use a damp beauty sponge. This one I actually love to use for setting my foundation, which means going over with a pressed or loose powder. I just like going over with a pressed powder. So I love using this for pressed powder. I'll just dip it in, and then once I finish my foundation, of course, just go over all of my face. And what setting it means is that if you're going in with a liquid or cream foundation, you're going to want to set it so that way it doesn't crease and move throughout the day. So setting it just means taking any powder, whether it be this MAC powder. This one gives you that slight sheen and it's really gorgeous, but sometimes I'm not even in the mood for sheen. I kind of want something more matte. So if I want just a completely mattified face, I'll go in with my Mercier translucent powder. I'll go in with a beauty blender and just do that a damp or dry beauty blender. Yeah, this is my all-time favorite foundation brush. Some people like to use this for foundation. I actually like the Sigma one more than I like the Real Techniques one. And the last brush that I wanted to show you guys for foundation, because I just wanted to pick 3 of my very favorite brushes, is this one, which is the MAC 130. And as you can see, short and dense, and it's a duo fiber brush. It is, if you hold up to your face, it's really, really small, but I actually like it because I can go in with concealer as well. Smaller, if I compare it to this one, you can see how much bigger this one is to this one, and how this one's going to cover a lot more surface quicker than this one will. But at the same time, they're both really great brushes. Newer to my collection than this one, but I think I love them the same. If I had to choose one, I'd probably go with the Sigma just because it's so amazing. I will definitely link these also in the down bar for you guys. So those are my favorite brushes and tools with the beauty blender also to apply foundation. I said if you guys want me to go through the rest of these brushes and what they're for and why those are my favorites, then I totally can. It's also really important to identify your undertone. So you'll either have a cool undertone, a warm undertone, or more of a neutral undertone. So what this means is that if you have a warmer undertone, your skin yellow and golden and olive tones in it. If you're more cool, you're gonna have some blues in your undertone, and if you're more neutral, you're gonna have a mix. If you tan easily and you don't really burn very often, you're more likely to have a warm undertone because you probably have a higher level of melanin in your skin, which is what gives your skin its pigment, probably more warm tone. If you burn really easily and you don't really ever tan, then you probably have more of a cool undertone. And again, neutral tones is more of a mix. It's really important to check this in natural lighting because if you're in a department store, the lighting might be kind of off. If you look on your forearm and your veins appear more blue and purple, you probably have more of a cool tone. If your veins appear more green, then you probably have more of a warm undertone. And again, if you kind of have a mix and it's hard to differentiate, probably more of a neutral undertone. There's also another test. It's the jewelry test. Take a piece of gold and silver and just put it to your skin. Silver looks nicer with your skin tone. That's more for cool tones, and if gold works better with your skin tones, you're probably more warm. If you can again wear both colors, you're more neutral. If you've tried out all these tests and you really just aren't sure, totally just go to any makeup counter and ask them what they think your undertone is. You're asking a professional, you want to make sure you're asking a couple of different ones so you can get different opinions. Something that's important to note is that if you're looking to buy from MAC flips their undertones. For example, if it says NC25, that normally means neutral cool 25, but in MAC, it's neutral warm. So just think that the two undertones are flipped, but it's just for MAC. So if you're wondering, in this foundation, I'm in the shade N2. I love this foundation because it's nice and lightweight and it's hydrating, and if you're matching your foundation, you want to make sure that you're matching it to your chest and you're not matching it to your face. A lot of people self-tan, and so their bodies will be a different shade than their face, and you really want to make sure that you're matching that shade to your chest. You don't want a pale face and then a tan body. And also, of course, when you're applying foundation, you want to make sure you're blending down your neck as well. I'll cover this more in a concealer video if you guys want me to do a concealer video, but for foundation, apply it everywhere, but don't specifically go up and put it under your eyes because that's where it's going to go. That's when your makeup will get cakey. If you're putting layers and layers of products, you want to make sure that you are not putting liquids over powders because that's when it can tend to be more of a hot mess, and that's when it can start to crease up and look cakey and just a hot mess. So you want to make sure that you never ever put liquids on top of powders, but the other way around. And you want to make sure that you're sealing in your look. So a lot of people use different setting sprays. My favorite is not technically a setting. It's called MAC Fix Plus, and it's so hydrating and relaxing and awakening, and it has caffeine and cucumber, vitamin E, and glycerin. It's basically just magic in a bottle. It's so good. It also gives you a really great amount of hydration. So I spray this before I put on my makeup, after I do my powders, after I finish everything. I use this like crazy. It's so good. They also have a smaller version of it. For setting my foundation, I'll either use this if I want more of a matte look, but normally I'll go in with Clinique Almost Powder Makeup, and I'm in Fair. It just looks like this, and there's no shimmer in it or anything like that. Starting off, a lot of people like to use primers, so if you're using a primer spray or water or anything, so this is about 15 to 45 minutes after you wash your face and moisturize. These are just a couple that I have. I'm not huge fans of them, to be honest. I have that I left in my bathroom is Benefit Porefessional, and I like to put that right in my nose and just T-zone area because it's amazing for just concealing those bigger pores, more problematic pores. And then I'll go in. So today I'm going to be using MAC Face and Body Foundation. Foundation really works for me. I used to use Clinique foundation. I used to use this Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation. This is also an amazing foundation, more full coverage than this foundation. On the back of my hand, and I'm just going to go in with that Sigma brush, and I'm just picking it up on the back from the back of my hand, and then I'm just going to go in with this. So I like to stipple this on first, and then I like to go and buff it out. Filling it, then I just like to stipple it on my face, and then I like to go in circular motions and really buff everything out. You want to make sure that you're blending down your jawline and your neck. Sometimes when I want that extra shine, I'll go in with my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette, and I'll go in with this shade right here. It's called Radiant Light. As you guys can see, that really evened out my skin tone. It also makes a really big difference when you put on concealer. So my next step would be to put on concealer under my eyes and conceal my dark circles and veins. But I'm going to do that in a different video if you guys want to see that. I'll do the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back. Something that I learned right before I wash my face every night, I'll just try out one or two new techniques or techniques that I've been working on that I haven't really mastered yet. And I think that practice really makes perfect. Remember the try out a makeup look and you think it looks really bad, that you can only get better from there. So just don't stop trying. It's just makeup and it washes off in the end of the day. Before you leave, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. And also click that bell right next to the subscribe button and you'll be notified when I upload a video. Please leave a comment letting me know what you guys want to see next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Appears sort of gold on camera, but it's a rose. It's like a true rose gold in person, and my shirt is not as green as this. It's like a muted down green gray. So I don't know why the color situation is off, but okay. Oh, my hair looks like a hot mess. I literally can't speak today how to pick just everything. I'm just gonna, basically this is the only YouTube video you need to watch on foundation. I keep on getting uncentered. I'm literally sitting on half of a chair right now. Yes, I know the song is super old and I know there are a lot of haters, but I still like him.